everybody. This is just a quick recording. Really, just to say hi. It's been a few days. I know y'all have missed me and my recording, so here I am. No, I just have a couple things to touch base about, and sometimes it's easier just to do a recording than to try to type everything. So, first of all, fun fact of the day: this class a majority of you all like butter pecan or pecan. I'm from the north, so I say it wrong, but a majority of you like that kind of ice cream, butter pecan, we'll say, followed by mint chocolate chip and cookies and cream. So that's your fun fact of the day. The only person that I've ever met that liked or that likes butter pecan ice cream is my dad. So I was very surprised that so many of you chose that as your favorite ice cream flavor. So you're welcome. Fun, useless fact for the day. You all did a really nice job on the podcast questions. So good job with that. I hope that they were relevant to you, and you could, especially some of you who are brand new to the program and brand new to special ed, helps you to see what an IEP is. What does transition mean? I don't know what that word means. What is it? So we will get into detail about a lot more of those things. Universal design for learning, IEPs, obviously, those are coming. That's coming up with the IEP activities. Transition, that will be the second half of the semester. So I just wanted to show you those. And I also wanted to show you there are a ton of those videos available. There are tons of them. So if you go to Google and you just put in SPED intro, if you put in SPED intro, it'll take you kind of to Introduction to Special Education on Vimeo, okay, which are, you watch the videos on this Vimeo thing, but I found it easier to just put in SPED intro. But there are so many. I think he has, let me see how many pages he has total. So he has like 21 pages of content on here. So there are some for individual disabilities. There are some on some unedited clips of high leverage practices that we will actually watch. If you take 764 with me, we will watch some of these clips in 764. And I know Dr. Murphy might have you watch some of those. There's curriculum-based measurement. Trying to find the ones that have like the specific, I can't remember what page it's on. So here you go, autism spectrum disorder, specific learning disabilities. So if you have a student and maybe they have a visual impairment, he does some for specific disabilities, related service providers, some of the ones that I had you watch, but there are so many more that I just didn't have time for y'all to watch. But keep this website in mind. And again, I just put in SPED intro is how I got here. So if you go to Google, just put in SPED intro, all one word, and then it's the first one that shows up. Okay, so keep this page in mind or this site in mind because there are some really great resources. So I wanted to make sure I touch base about those. So that's also why I have you do the podcast. I want to expose you to, or why I have you do the podcast questions. I want to expose you to what's out there. All right, so that's the first thing I wanted to touch base about. The next thing, let's just look at the calendar for a minute. So you're done with the affirmation form, you're done with the podcast questions, you're done with the Flipgrid post. That was not on the syllabus because somebody forgot, but that's okay. So our next assignment on my mom's birthday, and thank you to somebody who wished my mom a happy birthday. I will pass that along. So your next thing due is the case study, and remember that's where you will choose from. It's under the assignments tab. When I try to go back and forth between screens, I have to move there's a little box that shows what I am recording, so I have to keep moving it. So I apologize for that. So the case studies, remember, are in this folder under assignments fall 2021. Go under here. There's Donald, Gabrielle, and Jose. Remember, I gave you both the PDF option and the Word doc. The Word doc, you can type your answers right into the Word document. You only need to choose one of these three, okay? And I know some people might like looking at the PDF and typing into I tried to make it easy for y'all. So remember, you're only going to choose one person, Donald, Gabrielle, and Jose, and you're just going to submit, your answers in a Word doc formula, okay, or format. Okay, and then I do have the Thomas case study PDF. I did hide or make unavailable the Thomas case study assignment. Remember, we'll get back to that. I do have a recording from that from last year about what I'm looking for, and I'm just going to use that recording from last year. So if you happen to look, it'll say like 2020 fall, and it'll say Education 762. Remember, I told you this class split, but I'm just going to use the same recording because I'm always afraid I'm going to miss something when I redo recordings. So just disregard the dates from the recording that I will post. It's not posted yet, and therefore the Thomas assignment is not posted yet either. But remember that date, we'll go back to the calendar. That's the one I switched, and that Thomas is due October 1st. So I still have a little bit of time. I will get that recording up and posted for you all, and I will get the assignment posted for you all as well. Okay. So our next thing to think about after the case study that's due this weekend or the on Friday, and for the remainder, at least all the way through October, you are welcome to work with a partner. You're welcome to work with a small group on these assignments. Obviously, you couldn't on like the Flipgrid, because that was your post. But for any of these other upcoming assignments, you can certainly choose to work with a partner or a small group. Just make sure you put everyone's name on the assignment that you submit. Only one of you has to submit it, but make sure all your names are on there so that I know that you all work together. All right, so the case study. And then the other thing to kind of think about are the IEP activities, and you can find, remember, under the assignments fall 2021, you can find the IEP activities assignments, right? So here's a video recording about what I'm looking for in the IEP activities and the assignments due date change, due date. So if you haven't watched that yet, go ahead and watch that. Here's IEP activity 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I don't know why this one says number 2 and the rest of them just say 1, 3, 4. That's going to bother me, and I will go ahead and fix that. But those are all due September 24th, and you can find, remember, you can find the IEP textbook chapters under the content fall 2021 tab. Okay, so in case you're saying, where do I find that from? Right here, the IEP textbook chapters, right? And so we have the intro chapter, PowerPoint with sound, meet our students, activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, activity 4. Remember, the dates are from a previous semester, as I try to specify, right? I say disregard the date you'll see. This is from a different semester. So just know the IEP activities are due September 24th. All right, so I think that's pretty much, let me go back to the calendar because I only pulled up the revised calendar right there. So let me go back and let me turn it, of course. Bane of my existence, people, right here. Bane of my existence. All right, so here's our calendar. We're done with August. We are done with the September 3rd assignment. So coming up next again is that case study. You will choose one of Donald, Gabrielle, and Jose and submit that this week on the 10th. Then, this is the old syllabus. This is the old one, so don't look at that because that's wrong. Remember here, we switched them. So the IEP activities are due first, then Thomas, okay, then the IEP project, which I have not posted anything about yet. There's no information posted about the IEP project. Hopefully we'll have the transition conference, which we'll get back to you about that. And then the end of October, we'll have the IRIS module questions due. I know some of you are taking 745 and 746 with Dr. Murphy, and I know that I think y'all just did an IRIS module for her. So it'll be, I'll walk you through what to do in case you're not in her class. I will walk you through what to do for that around, later on in this month. And then, so we're just disregarding because it's the old schedule. Okay, then so remember we have 2 IRIS modules that we're going to do for this class, one about the IEP process and one about transition. And then we'll talk about transition conference activity, whatever that may look like, person-centered planning activity, and then simulation and review of college programs. And then that's it. Okay, don't look. Okay, you can look. I didn't want you to see the Thomas one. All right, so I think that's about it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Butter pecan ice creams, everybody's favorites. The podcast, again, remember to go to SPED intro if you want, because there are a lot of really great resources on this page. Okay, I wanted to pause it because I wanted to get to the specific IDEA categories that he does. So they start about on page 7. If you look down here, and there are podcasts, I think, for almost every IDEA disability category. So there's multiple disabilities, traumatic brain injury. Remember, if you do watch any of these, just click the little play button. You don't have to watch any of these, by the way, any of these extra ones. I'm just showing them to you because I think they're all really great. Visual impairments, let's say you're working with a student with a visual impairment. Well, you might want to check out this podcast. Intellectual disability, deaf and hard of hearing, blindness, other health impairments, OHI, which is where ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, that falls under OHI. So if you have a student or you're working with a group of students who have ADHD, you might want to take, 9 minutes and watch this podcast. Obviously, you don't have to answer the questions, but just to give you more information. Speech and language impairment, specific learning disabilities, emotional disturbance. It's hard to see because of this little bar right here. And developmental delay. delays, and oh, here we go, ADHD. So here's one specifically about ADHD. Okay, so again, the autism spectrum disorder. So improving vocabulary. You know, some of these podcasts might really speak to you. And I had someone with the podcast with the podcast that y'all just did, somebody said that they were working as a long-term sub, and one of the podcasts about designing your classroom said really helped them. So again, hopefully these are relevant to you, and you might, just take a few minutes and look through all of them, all 21 pages, and he keeps adding more and more. Michael Kennedy is now at University of Virginia, by the way, but he keeps adding more and more. So just, come back to this site, Vimeo, Sped Intro, and there's some really great free resources out there. All right, so again, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Again, good job on the podcast questions. Keep up the good work. Please be careful, and I know it happens, but try to be really careful about not submitting a blank document. And there were a couple of you that did that, not just one. I do have it set up. I have it set up, right? Not Blackboard. I personally have it set up that you can only submit assignments once, because otherwise, it just gets too much with me. I don't know which one to grade, which one not to grade. So please be careful about, making sure that you are submitting your completed assignments. Okay, and I think that's it. Again, don't forget about the case study. Remember, you can find it under assignments. Don't forget about the case study. You will choose one, Donald, Gabriel, and Jose, and that is due September 10th. And again, you will not complete the questions that say activity. So in the Word document version, I took out where it says activity. Okay, so you'll just answer the questions that you see. If you pull it up as a PDF, you'll see the last question will say activity. You do not have to do the activity for these 3 case studies. All right, so again, maybe looking at the Word document might help you, because I already removed the activity question for you. Okay, so again, that's it. These are due the 10th, and then your next up would be the IEP activities, again, also under assignments. Those are due September 24th. That's about it for now. Hope y'all are doing well, and I will touch base later.